So thank you for everybody. So here we are again. Thanks again for this beautiful birthday video I got. So here I am, 1 year older, a little bit wiser. Yes, we are glad that you are all here, and that Sigrid is now working today again with us on the work of Katie Byron, what you told us last time, and that we can listen to your homeworks and discuss the different situations and topics. Sigrid.
Hello. At the beginning, I really want to tell you that I extremely appreciated working with you last time. And it was really touching me, that I got such a lot of feedback even afterwards. Some of you did write me on WhatsApp, as the work has already changed something in your life. And I felt extremely, thankful. And I'm always so impressed how the work can influence your life, in a better way. And you proved it. And I was extremely thankful. And that's what I wanted to say at the beginning of the session. Good. So what are we doing today? I think at the beginning, it's quite useful to summarize what we've learned last time. Also because some of you did not attend the session, so it's quite useful. And already at the beginning, I would like to say that it's not me that I'm summarizing it. I would like to ask some of you, probably summarizing what we did last time. So what is actually the work about? And that's what I would like to do first. Second, at the end of the last session, we did a certain kind of feedback round, and I really did write down all the feedbacks I received. And today, when I was reading all the feedbacks, I just felt that I would like to make some further comments on your feedback. I think for me, it's quite important that I'm 100% sure that you really understood what the work is about. Third, as Claudia said, I would like to switch to your homework. You all got a certain kind of homework. You had to work on a certain stressful situation, a person that is, for you a problem. And I would like to know your experience with the work. And in this session, I think it's quite useful to have some time discussing with all of you your experiences, because I just figured out last time when we discussed 1-2 experiences, I think it's very useful for all of us. And I think it's quite important to exchange the experience, what we have, and to exchange the experience, what we figured out based on the work. So that's my plan for today. So at the beginning, who would like to summarize what I did last session? So what is the work based on Byron Katie? What is the work about? Why is it so useful? When do we use the work? Who could summarize what we did last time? It doesn't have to be in a 100% perfect way, but just to tell all the others, especially all of them that couldn't attend, what is the work about?
I would like to summarize. Okay, so
great, Model. Hello.
Great.
Actually, I'm not at home. I'm on the way to home. So. Okay, so yeah. Actually, I mean, when we have some stress, there is a particular reason behind it, and the way to end that stress is to investigate that thought. I mean, to challenge our thoughts by the 5 questions from Byron Katie. So then we can change the thought. I mean, the reaction that we have towards that stress, there is a particular reason. So we have to identify that reason from these 5 questions from Byron Katie. And then then the problems might disappear.
Perfect.
Might is good. Yes, you're right.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
You know, it's not like the big the work is not the big magic that you say you make 5 questions and then everything disappears, but it's a big help. And I hope that you all experience that by doing your homework. But Moidel, right, you said, I just repeat what you said that there is always a certain reason why we have stress, why we have problems. And the work says that the reason behind a problem and the reason behind a stressful situation is always that we have negative thoughts, negative beliefs behind. That's absolutely right. Others? Are there others who would like to say something about the work? So as we heard from Moidel, stressful situation and the way how the work is resolving the stressful situation is becoming aware of negative thoughts that we have towards a situation or towards a person. So always that we have negative thoughts towards a situation or towards a person. So what is important is, remember from last time, that we are always interpreting situations. We are always interpreting, persons, people. So it's never an objective way of realizing a situation, for example. It's always our subjective way, and it means that we are always interpreting. And most of the time, unfortunately, we're not interpreting in a positive, but in a negative way. So others?
Maybe Surcho can tell about his example. And we had this beautiful feedback from yours, Surcho. You were, last time you were telling, that the problem you are having, that you think that maybe you don't carry the right clothes and the others look down on you because they come from rich families. So it was a very good example, because you try to think what the others think about you without talking to them. And then the next day already you were giving us feedback that the situation changed for you. So in which way did it change?
Yeah, it was just my thought, the negative thought I had on my brain, that what the others are thinking about me, but actually it's not. But from next day only I got very energetic, and I thought it's just my thought. So I directly went to my canteen in whatever dress I was. So I could feel that everybody is busy with their own work, but nobody is paying attention to you. You are just having that negative thought that was keeping you behind. So after all, I have discussed with my friends also that there is a missionaries where we are brought up. So they feel very proud that I am from these missionaries. So it was just a negative thought I was having.
Yes.
And now.
So you were interpreting the thoughts of the others. You thought that they look at you and think, oh, it's not very chic what you are wearing. It's today we had a talk. I was calling you because after our session, I was in the house of my parents. I was telling my mother about it, and I was telling about Surcho and his problem. And he told, and my mother said, "Can I buy him some new clothes?" Because I don't want him to feel bad about what he's wearing. And today I told Surcho that, and he said, I don't need this anymore. I have a different thought of looking into towards the others, and I feel very self-confident now. I think it's a very good example of how the work can work, Sigrid, isn't it?
It's perfect. And just to tell you, Surcho, we did write each other the day afterwards.
Yeah.
We just decided for today, and I hope it's still fine, that I would like to work on your example much more today, because of the lack of time last session, we didn't have a lot of time,
Yes.
working on your example. And I think that's what I felt. I think it's extremely useful to work on your example again, because I feel that probably, some of the others have also similar problems, you know. So if you would be prepared to work with me on the work today, I would be extremely pleased.
Yeah.
But I can tell you as well, I told my husband about you on that day 1 week ago. And, you know, my husband is not, I wouldn't say he knows the work a little bit because I'm talking quite a lot about Byron Katie, but, you know, he's not extremely familiar with the work. But you know what he said? He said, to your example, he said, how could this person have a problem with his background? He must be proud of himself, you know, based on his background, what he's right now doing, being at that university, it must be the opposite. He must be extremely proud, you know, and that's what I wanted to tell you. That's what my husband said really afterwards. And I think the same, really.
Yes, exactly. Exactly. Yeah. I had the same experience with Subasis. I remember because I started to do these success stories for the videos. We already made 3 success stories and Subasis, you were one of them. And I was asking you, do you have a problem that we have to talk before? In the beginning of this video, we have to show where you come from. And he said, there's nothing to be ashamed of. Now I'm there, you know, where I wanted to be. And there's such a long way. I was also going this way and I'm proud of it. So it's a very good attitude. I hope every one of you has this attitude because it helps you then also in job life. So you are much stronger. I always say when I tell people about you, I say, you are my heroes, because it's to have such a tough beginning for life and then you to continue like you did. It's, for me, it's impressive. So please take this in mind, have this in mind also. Okay, Sigrid.
I think the same, Claudia. I said last time, you know, I'm quite proud what I experienced in my life, and it was not always easy in my life. I told you last time that my father was quite difficult, I had to earn everything on my own, but you know, it's nothing compared to your situation, really. So again, you should be really proud of yourself. I think the same as Claudia said.
And I just want to mention one point, Sigrid, before you continue. We told everybody who was here last time, who joined last time, that today is the day where you are going to tell about your love story. I don't know. Yes. I don't know when we are going to do that, in the end or right now, because when you are talking about your husband, then I was remembering that this was our teaser for today's session.
I was remembering it. I wrote it down last time, and I will show you some pictures at the end.
Okay, at the end. I also think it's the best.
But I'm sure you will stay until the end. No, I will show you some pictures, and I will tell you, a little bit about him and about us, if you like. Sure. So first of us, summarizing the last session, you said, very important, stressful situation based on the work is that we have negative thoughts, negative beliefs towards that situation or towards a person, whatever reality is. Very important. Yes. I think I open again my presentation so that all of you can see it. Just summarizing. So this is the young lady called Byron Katie. And as we said, it's a type of therapy mainly used to release personal stress by addressing and eliminating the negative thoughts and the limiting beliefs we have behind that stress. That's extremely important. So there are a lot of different therapies that would, you know, address a problem in a different way. The work is convinced that just negative thoughts or limiting beliefs, you know, make that stress. That's extremely important. The next thing, you know, with the words of Byron Katie, it's never the situation itself that makes me suffering, but the story that I tell myself about it. Probably you remember what I told you about my husband when he forgot his telephone. He was not normally, he's calling me in the evening. He didn't call me. I felt extremely anxious, and at the end, he just told me on the next day, and I realized he just forgot his mobile phone in the operation in the hospital. So again, the situation, what made me suffering was not that he just one night was not calling me, but what made me suffering was my negative thinking, because I thought I saw him already, that he had an accident and then that he probably is in the hospital. So it's, as Byron Katie said, it's never the situation itself. It's always the story that I tell myself about it. So the story means that, as I already said also today, we are interpreting situations, and all of us, everybody is interpreting a certain situation in a different way. And the interpreting, doesn't help quite often. It is doing the opposite. Or Epictetus was a Greek philosopher I really love a lot. He said it in a different way. Again, we are disturbed not by what happens to us, but by our thoughts about what happens. Extremely important. Again, in different words, it's not the situation itself that makes me suffering, but the thoughts, what I have about what happens. Another question now to you. So that's what we summarized already, but just I have another question to you. So it's extremely important to become aware of our negative thoughts. But my question is, because, these negative thoughts, we are not always, conscious about. How can we figure out all the negative thoughts we have? So what kind of help has the work for us? Moidul, you remember?
Turn around. We have to make the situation in a turnaround system.
So Asad, you said important is that we challenge the thought what I had at the beginning, going through different questions. And at the end, we really challenge the previous thought by making the turnaround.
Absolutely right.
Yeah, but just tell me more in detail, because not all of us were attending the last session. What do you mean by turnaround? Asad, huh? Do I spell you right? Yeah.
Yes.
Asad. So what do you mean by turnaround? Or can
you
turnaround
means?
Yeah.
Yes, it's like sometimes, as we know that many times whenever we try to do something or try to message someone, when we are not getting response or any reaction, then we feel very bad and we bring lots of thought, and most of them are negative thought, that why he's not replying or why she's not reacting on my words or something. So we somehow try to bring that kind of agitation between us and bring some kind of difference and distance. So we have to think from that opposite side also, that why he's not responding or why he's not replying. Maybe he's in some problem, or maybe he's in busy situation or something like this. So we have to make our thought from negative to positive, and that can be done with the word turnaround, which will will also understand their problem, or might we have to think in a positive way.
Mm-hmm.
Am I right?
Yes, almost. I would say quite right. Huh? Very important is, and I told you that I would like to say something more based on your feedback you gave last time, because a lot of you did say, and I think Asad quite the same now, the work does not mean that we always have to think in a positive way. For sure, it's much better thinking in a positive way than in a negative way. But the work says, what does the work say? The work doesn't just say, Asad, think in a positive way, but just think in what the turnaround helps. Why? what is the work, the turnaround really doing? In which way is the turnaround helping you to think not in a positive, but to think in, now I say it, the more right way. So the work just tells us, challenge the previous thought or the negative thinking what you have at the beginning, challenge this kind of negative thought. And by going through the 5 questions and especially the turnaround, you get a much more right answer, a much more right belief. So you are right, Asad. I think you understood the work, but for me, it's extremely important that we don't remember the work is just that we have to think positive, positively or in a positive way. The work is just making us aware of that we very often think in a wrong way. So the work is making aware of that we have to think in the right way. This is the difference. So just, do you remember, Asad, the example, what we did last time? I did just, an example. I thought that all of us is experiencing this kind of problem. I did the example, I am, then I'm frustrated or angry with, let's call him Paul, because he's not listening to me. This was the example.
Yes.
What was the turnaround? Because there are different ways to do the turnaround, to turn around the previous negative thought I had. And what was the previous negative thought, Asad? My previous negative thought at the beginning was, when I started the work was?
Previous thought was that he was not listening to me.
I think exactly, the negative thought was, I think that Paul, let's call him Paul, that Paul is not listening to me. Right. This is a negative belief. I can't be sure. And the turnaround, what could be the first turnaround? The first turnaround is that I make the turnaround towards myself. What could be the example? Yes. What is the example? Or what is the sentence making the turnaround towards myself?
I should listen to myself first.
Probably, you're absolutely right. Probably it's not like that Paul is not listening to me, but probably it's much more true. And that's what I said before. It's not thinking in a positive way, but think more in a true way. So a first turnaround can be, probably it's much more true that I should much more listen to myself. Yeah, this is the first turnaround. Yeah. What could be another turnaround, Asad?
From that day, we know another was that I should also, I should not only think about myself, I should also maybe listen to Paul, what he's trying to say, or why he's not responding, or why he's not listening. I should also understand his way of, from his side. So I should first listen to Paul.
Perfect. So the second, absolutely perfect. You're totally right. So that second turnaround can be, probably it's much more true that I should much more listen to him. Do you remember, as I said last session, we quite often blame other people, for example, not listening to me, but we become aware of, probably we are doing the same either, So the second turnaround could be, probably it's much more true. And I learned that going through the 5 questions, probably it's much more true than I should listen to Paul much more. Right? Third turnaround. What could be a third turnaround?
Paul maybe listening to me.
Perfect. Asad, you are perfect. True, because another turnaround can be that we put the sentence, in the other way. probably it is true, and I'm just not aware of it, that he is listening to me. Perfect.
Yes.
And this is
last, I mean,
yeah.
yesterday only I had same experience like this. I tried to message someone. I saw in the WhatsApp, we know that if it is double tick and it's a blue color, that means it has been seen. But I think that he's not responding, so he's not listening to me. But the thing is that already have seen, so it's already a double tick mark with a blue color. So it means he's listening to me and he have read all my things. So I should not pretend that yes, why he's not listening to me. The same situation is like turnaround part 3.
Perfect. So you and this is so important, you know, it's not about, the work is not about that we make as many turnarounds as possible, but I hope that you felt, or that your experience was the same based on your homework, that there is a certain turnaround that is really touching me. There is a certain turnaround that, and where I experience that this kind of thinking is much more true than based on the thinking I had at the beginning.
Yes.
Perfect. I'm extremely happy because I feel that you really did understand the work. Perfect, Asad. Really.
Thank you.
I'm happy. And you
you.
understand now what I said, because this is so important. The work is not that, you know, Byron Katie is telling you just think in a positive way. That's not the work. The work is saying
it should be a right way.
Think in the much more right way. So the much more right way, based on the example we experienced last time, is probably it's much more true that Paul or the person is listening to me and I'm just not aware of it. Thanks, Asa. Thanks a lot. Perfect. So just for all of you, the work is convinced, or the work just offers, as I said, it's not always so easy to experience my negative beliefs because I'm not always conscious about them. So the work offers 5 questions, and these 5 questions help you in challenging your previous negative belief. So again, just repeating, the first question is it true? So when you take your negative belief, you ask yourself, is it true? Or can you be 100% sure that what you are thinking is really true? And you know, the answer to the question, to the first and the second question is always yes or no. And Byron Katie is asking the second question a similar way, but going much more in detail, because asking yourself, can you be 100% sure that what you were thinking before is true, changes quite often. And this is, based on my experience, you know, a very important starting point in getting rid of your problems, becoming aware of that my negative thought probably is not really true. And then she's asking the third and the fourth question. Who can tell me what the third and the fourth question is about? Why is the third and the fourth question so important? Who would like to say something on the third and the fourth question? Why is it?
Maybe I can try.
I didn't get it. Asad, what did you say?
Maybe I can try.
Yeah, perfect. Try. So why is the third question important?
The third question is very important because on the base of this third question, everything or all the situation can be thought. Whether if we think in a negative, I mean in a wrong way, it's not a positive or negative way. No, just now we learn, it has to be a right way. So whether it is wrong or right, if we react on the same cases, then the story or the situation will totally change. If we think in a wrong way, then the reaction will be something very odd or very, very different. And this might happen in a bad relationship or a kind of difference between us. And then this belief will make my stress much more higher.
So you're right. The third question makes you aware of what kind of influence the negative thought, what you had at the beginning, how this negative thought is influencing your life, is because this negative thought has an influence on your actions, on your feelings. When, for example, if I would thought today, or if I would think today that I am a bad coach, you know, I'm sure that the kind of performance I show today would be different. You understand? I would probably say less, I would behave different, I wouldn't tell about my experience, I would whatever. But having this thought, this wrong, I think it's a wrong thought, and by the way, I don't have it, has an influence on our life, has an influence on my actions, and has an influence on my feelings. Perfect, Asad. And the fourth question, so the third question makes you aware of how the negative thought, what you just, I mean, it's just a thought, what you have in your head. You did it. Nobody else gave you that thought. You are the one that that created that thought. But the third question makes you aware of the negative influence of that thought on your life. And the fourth question, why is the fourth question so important? The fourth question is doing what? You would like to try again? I put some stress on you, Asad, huh? You have to answer all the questions. But what is the fourth question? Or also another person, what is the fourth question about? Why is the fourth question important?
The fourth question, it makes us aware of the person I would be without the influence of that negative thought. So like,
perfect model.
If in the third question, if it makes me aware that I am angry with certain belief, then in the fourth question, like it makes me aware that I will be a better person without that anger. I would be a happy person.
Perfect. Absolutely right. The fourth question makes you aware of who you could be without having the negative belief. And by the way, Byron Katie, you know, is working with the work now since almost 40 years, and she did thousands of coaching sessions. And I don't have any coaching session, you know, without using the work. And we experience, and it's always also based on the experience of Byron Katie, and that's quite interesting, that 97% of our previous thought is not true. This is unbelievable, huh? And this previous thought is really sometimes ruin our life if we don't challenge this kind of thought and becoming aware of, by the way, it's not true. So the fourth question is making you aware of who you could be without that sentence, who you could be without that negative thought. So if you just take that thought, put it away, who would I be without that thought? And it's exactly the question. Who would you be without the thought? So you're a different person. And it makes you realizing how the thought is influencing your life. And then fifth, the turnaround. So that's important. If we become aware of that the previous thought is really not helpful in my life. So the opposite, it's really it's ruining my life. Huh? So challenge that thought. So is it really true, the previous thought? And the turnaround really helps you by just experiencing different turnarounds. As Asad told us today, there are 3 different ways, or there are much more ways, you know, to make the turnaround. The turnaround makes you aware of which thought is much more true. And sometimes we experience a thought that it's not always positive, but, you know, positive in that way, it's much more true. And I can work on that thought. Perfect. So the 5 questions help us to challenge our negative thought. And in the 5th question, we become aware of which thought is much more true compared to the previous one. So the summary, as I said last time, is sometimes we are really extremely caught in a dream. We are caught in interpretations, in negative interpretations that have a negative influence on our life. And it's extremely important to challenge these negative beliefs. And the way to, and this is important, the way to end our stress is to investigate the thinking that lies behind it. So when you change the negative thinking, this is the experience on a lot of different coaching sessions, when the negative belief is no more, existent, the problem disappears. And this is so important. So the problem disappears when you realize that the previous thought, what you have had, is no more true and is much more true. Another thought, what you experience and what you figured out in the turnaround. Perfect. Questions? Do you understand why I wanted to make some further comment on what you said last time based on the feedback round? As you said, the work is just about to think in a positive way. You understand why it is not 100% true? As I said, for sure, it's much better to think in a positive and in a negative way. But you understand now that the work is
Is Sigrid not there anymore? Sigrid? The others also having the problem, not
No,
hearing,
maybe
Yes.
secret.
because
problem.
it's frozen. The screen is frozen.
Oh.
Now there was an internet connection
Yeah.
problem, Sigrid. We didn't hear you anymore. And now again,
It's mute.
it's
Secret, you have to
muted. You
unmute.
have to unmute your microphone, Sigrid. Ist auf stumm geschalten? Ja.
No,
jetzt
but
geht's.
it's just switching without doing, I didn't do anything.
Right.
Aha.
Probably
Maybe
I
you
have bad
touched something.
connection because it's extremely snowing now.
Ah, really? Not in
Yes.
Vienna, not in Vienna,
So,
but in Salzburg or
So you
St.
hear me
Wolfgang.
again, huh?
Mm-hmm.
So what I wanted to say is, again, do you understand what I said before, that, based on your feedback round, as you said, the work is about just thinking in a positive way is not 100% true. The work is about thinking in the right way. This is so important for me that you understand it now, what it means. Or do you have any more questions?
I would like to say something.
Yeah.
Because I think that the example Azad gave before is a very good example for how the work can work. Because this situation, I think everybody of us knows the situation. You are writing a WhatsApp and then you see with the two blue, was sagt man, Hackerl, these signs, you see that the other person read it, but he does not, or she does not answer. And sometimes this makes you feel bad. And for instance, now I'm just taking my example. Fortunately, I got very many messages for my birthday, and I did not answer because I didn't want to write just one word. I wanted to sit and take my time and give everybody who wrote me my attention and write a long message. So sometimes, it's not just because somebody wants to ignore you, but he or she wants to give you more attention and not write it on the street or somewhere in the bus, but wants to give you more attention. That's why it takes some time till the answer is coming. So I think this is a very good example that what you could think that this person, he doesn't like me, he doesn't answer, he thinks that I'm not important, is the opposite, because some people think that you are so important that they want to write more than just okay or something. So I was just, when you were telling this example, Azad, I was thinking about how many people maybe think now that I'm impolite or I don't like them because I didn't answer yet. But I know that I have to take my time to answer everybody in a very specific way. And I think there are lots of daily situations all of you are having where you try to interpret what the other person might think about it or might act in this way, and it's completely different. It's the opposite of what you're thinking. So it's just an example, because Assad was telling about this WhatsApp story.
It's a wonderful example, Claudia. And, based on this example, you can use this example going more in detail about the work, So Assad again, so tell me again the previous statement, what you have, which was the negative thought that created some stress. So you feel or you felt, I don't know, frustrated because somebody on WhatsApp didn't answer you. Was this the previous statement?
Yes.
Okay, so let's experience together, as Claudia said, and what Claudia said is true, but it's just one example. Let's just experience together what could be a reason why a person is not responding based on, a message you wrote to a person. Let's experience together what can be reasons that a person is not responding, on the same day, probably not even on the next day. What can be some reasons? What would be reason? As Claudia said, a first reason can be, as Claudia said, the opposite. And I experience the same when I get a message from a person, and quite a message that is quite important for me. I want to find the right time for myself to answer it. I don't answer this message between coaching sessions when I have just some minutes. I want to take my time to answer that message. So the person is extremely important, Could be one reason. What could be another reason that you don't, that a person is not responding on the same day or on another day? What could be another reason?
He might be busy.
He might be busy. He might be extremely busy. And I'm sure that you all experience days when you are busy from the morning until, quite late in the night. So I experience the same, when there are some days I have coachings almost for 10 hours. And at 10 at night, I'm no more able to answer questions because I have almost a headache, So the person is extremely busy. What could be another possibility? What could be a third possibility?
I can say one thing.
No, you can.
Yes, Anat.
It's not always that if you message someone or if you say something to someone, it is not always that you will get the response. Might be you might not give. So you have to be like, my bad. It's not giving us. You have to move on.
So what did you say for the reason? What could be the reason? We are asking now for reasons why a person is not answering you. So what do you think could be another reason?
It's not always that he or she has to give you the whatever you have asked the question. He or she might not give you. You have to take in that way also.
You think that she is not obliged to give an answer, that the other person is not obliged? Or what do you think? Yes.
Yeah, he means
So,
this.
Okay, so sometimes it's the wrong expectation that everybody has to answer.
What?
Yeah. Jagat, what do you want to say?
Sorry, important. It's quite true. Nobody is, let's speak in an honest way. Nobody is forced to answer you.
Jagat? Who wanted to say something? Jagat, did you want to say something, or who else wanted to tell us a reason why maybe
when a person is not responding, maybe he has some other important works or some other important works or other important texts to reply.
Yes.
It's quite similar as we heard before. A person,
or maybe the phone is lost.
Busy.
Yes. Also, we had this, I think. I think Samrat Patro, we had this case when I was worrying, not getting it, then the phone was stolen. I think it was on the street.
That's very true. That's happened to all of us. There's been no network or no battery. And if you've got no network or no battery, it might be an urgent thing, but you still can't reply and somebody might get very worried, but it's simply a technical problem that's stopping a reply.
Oh, remember the example I told you from my husband? He just forgot the mobile in the hospital. And one of the reasons why he couldn't answer. But, you know, it's so important. That's what I really give you this kind of experience when I have a stressful thought or when I have a problem, I always ask myself, what else can be true? And I really take a sheet of paper, I write down all the different possibilities based on the example a person is not answering. What can be true? It's not only true that the person doesn't like me or the person is not interested in me, and that's the reason why he doesn't answer me. There are a lot of different reasons, and this is so important.
Yes, and another reason, when I wanted to talk to Sigrid, I got her number from Claudia, and I texted Sigrid, and she did not reply me for 5 days, and I was like quite anxious. I mean, she did not know me, and why didn't she reply? You know, I was having many kinds of thoughts, and then I didn't tell her anything. Then 5 days later, I was obviously thinking something negative thoughts, like maybe she is busy or maybe she's wary of strangers, that like, who is it that texted me, an unknown person or something like that. And then she texted me 5 days later and said that she was on holidays.
True, I was on holidays, and as Sabine said, you know, I was on an island and I had no connection. Okay. I mean, it's almost unbelievable in our world, but I was on an island, you know, on this island, we even had sometimes electricity. So there was no connection, but it's so important, Model, what you said, because we sometimes immediately think that, you know, probably I'm not interested in doing this kind of coaching session. It was the opposite. Huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, and I remember it, and I was so, and you told me about your fear, and I immediately said, Moide, I'll understand you, but you know, the situation was just that I didn't have any connection.
Yeah.
Perfect. But it changed afterwards. Now I answer you immediately, huh?
Exactly.
Because I have connection.
Yes.
So this is so important, huh? Let's go to your homeworks. I would like to exchange, you know, the experiences you have based on your homework. So
excuse me, to ask something.
Asad, what did you say?
I want to ask one question. Can it be the reason also the same way, like maybe the opposite person is angry on me or some way he or she is not interested on it? Can be also the reason.
Sure, can be. It can be that a person is angry with you and he's not answering. I had a little bit of discussion with my mother yesterday, and I did send her a nice message and she was not responding. And she told me in the evening, I was a little bit fed up about our conversation. Sure, it can be. But the important thing is we mostly tend that we really tend that we mostly think that the person is angry about us. This is so important. But sure, as you said, Asad, it can be a reason, but it's not the only reason. That is so important.
But sometimes you just have to wait. I mean, you just have to be patient with some people. For example, when I have something important, or maybe I text our father Xavier and he doesn't reply, and then again I text him maybe a few days later and I say, Father, and he says, wait, sir, wait. So I understand, okay, I have to wait.
Very true, Moidel. Sometimes, you know, a right way of you know, confronting a situation is just waiting. Sometimes it's quite good to give a situation a little bit of time, or to give a person a time. You know, it can be much more different the other day or 2 days afterwards. Very true. Great experiences, really. I think it's so important for all of us. Let's go to our Asad. Yes.
Yes, sorry for again disturbing.
No, it's useful and helpful. I'm so happy when you ask questions, because I think it's so important for all of us. So Asad, what kind of question
is that? I would like to stick with my last point only, because all the cases we can make a turnaround. Then how can this situation can be make a turnaround? Someone is angry on me, or someone don't like me, then how to react or how to go forward with this thing? This is the main problem I have.
So
if someone is angry with you, then you can know that that person is angry, because you know that how you behave with that person, or your attitude towards that person, or how that person reacts to your attitude. So you know.
Yes, but the thing is that maybe we have,
sometimes it's maybe misunderstanding.
So
Yes.
Asad, just
No,
Dev Kumar made a point.
Asad, give us the example. What is your example you would like to work on? So give me the example. You know, it's always very helpful giving the example in the structure, in the sentence structure I gave you for the homework. I am feeling with somebody because of. Tell me this example in this kind of structure.
Hello, Sigrid, it's me, Soidul. I would like to say something to some situation about Azad is facing actually situation. He's having a relationship in a bad combination. His girlfriend is not replying, so he is a little bit worried. So it's better if you give a suggestion how to tackle with that situation.
So I think this is not very discreet that you tell. Maybe Asad doesn't like to have all these details here in this round.
No, it's not that true. He's trying to give example with this thing, but that's not true. The truth.
But what Asad tell us about? Tell you in your words. Yes. What is your case? Because maybe
the first thing I believe that there is no one perfect on this art. Everyone does bad or good thing. So similarly, I have done some bad things. For that, I also apologized and also for that. And we maybe one with whom I am having that bad relations. So we try to make understand and everything is clear. But the thing is that how do I know that it's already a green sign from that side? So whenever I try to write something or try to ask for something, it's like no reply. So I think this is the main reason that maybe he's still angry with me, or he's not liking me. So this is the problem. How to get rid of this situation?
Asad, may I ask, are you talking about Father Savior?
Yes.
I think we can, we are among us, so we can name it. Yeah. Because I know also your problem. We were asking it. And maybe it's better for Sigrid to know that it's a kind of authority, and he is, we know, not a very easy person. Somebody who's very strict. So I don't know if you have any suggestion, Sigrid, if, there is no response whatsoever, but it's coming from a person who Marlies and me also have this experience. If he doesn't like to speak about some things, he just does not speak about it. There's no way of getting an answer. It's the same for us, I think, in sometimes when we have some problems.
The situation, Asad, is you have a certain kind of question to Father Xavier and he's not answering you.
Yes.
Okay. My question is, what kind of feeling are you experiencing? What kind of feeling do you have when he's not answering? So, for example, you write, I don't know, do you write a WhatsApp app, or how do you communicate with Father Xavier normally? You write a WhatsApp?
Yes. Previously, I used to meet him personally and I used to speak, then I have to ask something. But now, as I have my own phone, so I directly text him so that whenever he get the time because before we didn't get him on time because he's very busy, sometimes stay in hostel or sometimes he went out. So it's better we WhatsApp him. So whenever he's free, he just open his phone and read it. But the thing is that he's same thing is not like one time or second time. It's like for a month, few months, it's going like this. So I feel very sad that why it is happening with me. Is he still angry with me for that reason or something kind of problem, or what is the main problem, or how can I handle this situation?
But Azad, the most important is, and I think you answered, you gave yourself already an answer. I think first of all, you have to ask yourself, can it be that he's not answering me because he's angry with me? So my first question would be, based on that statement, would be, Azad, can you be 100% sure that Father Xavier is not answering you because he's angry with you? This would be the first question I would ask you. Can you be 100% sure that he's not answering you because he's angry with you, Azad? This is the first question. So try to answer that question. Is that really true that he's not answering because he's angry with you?
Auntie, hello. Raju
Yes.
cannot.
Milan.
Raju cannot. Yeah, Raju cannot answer actually. Right now, Raju cannot answer because for a Muslim there is a prayer now happening over there, so he cannot talk.
Hello.
You cannot answer, Raju. Is it too loud? You have a noise there, or what? Why?
No, actually there is some
Evening prayer.
What is there? I don't understand, Surchu. What is the reason?
Yeah, actually they have some practice in Muslim religion that you can't talk within, I don't know what is the hour. Then
No, I can talk, but the thing is that the entire session will be disturbed by that sound, so I have to stop.
Oh.
What is that? Azan.
So we can't talk with you anymore, Azad. We should go ahead to some other case, or what?
No, I can speak, but the thing is that that sound will make the problem, disturb in the session. So you can
We can listen to you. It's no problem for us.
Yes, now
Hello,
we can listen to you. Who is auntie here?
Yeah, it's audible now. Yeah.
Hello, auntie. It's me, Rinku.
Rinku, hello. Yes. What do you want to say?
Yes, actually, I want to say that the reason might be he or she might be her health is not well sometimes, so he or she is not responding for 1 2 days, and that sometimes it create that he or she is not responding with a negative thought. But maybe he or she is feeling health is not well sometimes. So this might be a reason behind.
So there's another reason for why somebody is not answering. Yes. Thank you, Rinku. But now we were moving ahead already to a specific case of Azad's. I know that you are thinking a lot about it for a month already, because Father Xavier is not answering his questions. Yes.
Again, Azad, my question is, can you be 100% sure that he's not answering because he's angry with you? Is that really true?
No.
It could be. It could be.
Yes, it could be.
But it is not. That's the difference. It could be, but it is not 100% sure. It could.
Yes, absolutely.
It could be. So now I would like, before doing the turnaround, I would like to make you aware of how this negative thought is influencing yourself in the behavior with him. So when you really believe that he's not answering me because he's angry with me, how does that influence your actions, your behavior with him? Probably with yourself. What kind of influence does this have on your behavior? When you really think he's not answering because he is angry with me, what kind of influence does that have? You smile?
Very bad impression.
Can I give my impression, Azad? It makes you very sad, I think. You make it yes. So he's very sad.
So you're sad when you believe that thought?
Yes, and I overthink something that then I should, from next time, I should not ask anything from father, or I will not ask for any support. I will not speak with father. Something like this overthinking comes in my mind. But after a few days again, settle down, and then again I can speak. So it's like that point of time, my mind gets distracted and some kind of negative thoughts come in my mind.
So as you said, when you believe that thought, you're quite sad, and you decided for yourself, I don't raise any more question. I don't write, any more message to him. This could be one reaction. What could be another reaction?
But wouldn't it be the best reaction to kind of try to solve the problem and try to talk to somebody?
I was trying to speak that. I was thinking that then that point of time I was thinking that I should directly meet father and say what is the problem, or something might be he's angry or some kind of problem he's facing, that father, I asked for this, or I texted, you haven't replied, which is very urgent or very important thing. Then I can understand the original or the true thing, what is the truth behind that that thought. So that's another reaction. I thought that maybe it's over, I will not text anymore, then I will just directly meet him and ask something like this.
So we are already in the solution. Claudia, you're absolutely right. Sure, the best way is just to talk with him and ask him and talk about the problem situation. But for me, it's so important that you become aware of, Asad, how this thought that is probably, but not 100% sure, is influencing your situation. So you said, and I think the same, if I would ask myself, having a person that is not answering, probably one influence can be that I don't raise any more questions. Let's move to the turnaround. So Asad, try to question yourself, what could be more true? Is the only reason that he's angry with you? Is this the only reason that he doesn't answer you? Can there be other reasons?
The other reason can be, there are many reasons. The first reason might be he's too much busy. Then maybe it is not possible for him. Suppose I ask something for, maybe it is not under his frame of possibility to provide or give. That might be a things then like this. But the thing is that the main point, I think that it is for me, it is better not to disturb him, because he's under so much pressure. He alone have to handle and manage everything. It's not a game that he just play. He have to manage lots of NGOs and he have to take care of the children, staff, teachers. So it is under so much pressure. So I should not disturb him. And whatever he thinks, whether he is not giving or giving, it is from his way of good, because from my childhood he have supported me without any dignity, without any discrimination. So it might be that whatever I ask, it is not correct for me. So he's not trying to accept the proposal or not trying to respond. So it's no problem.
But Asad, this is now different to your previous thought. It can be that he's not answering because he has such a lot of pressure. He has such a lot to do. He's so busy. So for him, it becomes quite difficult to answer all the questions that, he gets on messages. So it gets, and I experience the same, sometimes I get so many messages and I'm no more able to answer it. So it can be the situation, and this is different to what you thought before, that he's not answering because he is angry with you. So you just raised another possibility, that he's not answering because he has such a lot to do. He's so busy and he has such a lot of pressure. And sometimes, and I think someone said it before, sometimes a good behavior is just giving time to a person. There will be the right time when he's answering. Probably he won't answer at all. But again, and I think it's a very good attitude, as you said, he does not have to answer. And he is sometimes under such a lot of pressure. And I understand now better why he is not answering. And this is different. So this is so important we are right now, doing the work on your example, and you ask yourself for different possibilities why he is not answering you. And this is much more different to the previous before. But let's say, Asad, it probably is true that you said or did something what made him angry, as I raised the example yesterday with my mother. It can be, but the most important is that it is not 100% sure that it always is like that, but for sure it could be. Like as I told again, the situation with mother yesterday. What could be a good behavior? He probably doesn't want to answer because there was something, what made him angry about you. Can be. What could be, I think, a good behavior?
This is the thing I want to know. How can the situation be changed?
So the situation can be changing, first of all, as we experienced before, that you question yourself in the first negative thinking what you have. I'm sure that he's not answering because he's angry with me. This is the first solution what I give to you to question that negative thinking, because as you said, can be true, but it is not one. I can't be 100% sure. There can be a lot of different reasons. First thing. The second thing, when it is probably true, probably there was something that I didn't do in the right way. Let's ask all the others. Can you give an advice to Asad? What would you do if you would be in a similar situation like Asad?
Can I say something?
Yes.
Yeah. So if it is very necessary or important for you to go like text father or important thing, if he's not texting you, then just see that, then believe that he's ignoring you or he doesn't want to talk with you. And if it is important, so much important to you, then you should go to talk with father face to face, because there are many students who father prefers. So if right now, if those people or the student will text, he will immediately reply them back. If I text him, that I will never do, so he will never give me the text. But if I somewhere call him in a voicemail or voice call, then he might pick up my call, but he won't talk that much, because we all know that he cannot, we cannot understand his language, because he will tell very slow, so that he also know this one, that we cannot understand him. So he will again get angry, and we know that if he get angry, he will not do nothing. If we say something also, he will not do anything. So he always want to ignore you when you have done any bad thing or maybe mistake. He will keep on thinking. If you have done when you are born, if you did that mistake, he will come pick up that line also. He will tell you this thing, that yes, you have done that one. So that's why I'm not was not answering you or replying you. So it's better, if it is very, very important to you, then go to him or call him, because I think to for a father, or maybe our ZUKI member also, if I'm having problem, if I'm calling or texting, I'm not getting the response, it is actually a responsibility for father to reply me. At least I should know that what's the problem I'm facing, or why you're not telling me the right thing or not replying me. So it is father problem. You see. So if he doesn't reply you, then go to him or call him just. If it's not necessary, just leave him alone. Don't face him, but that's it.
Thank you, Milan. I just want to explain to Sigrid, this problem that Asad was talking about, some of the students here are having because there were some mistakes and our father told that there were some mistakes. And so his usual way of punishing is not replying. And now you see there are different ways of handling the situation. And it's very, very interesting, Milan, what you said, because Milan was already turning the situation around. And he said, it's not my problem, it's his problem, because he actually should answer. And it's his responsibility to answer. Asad is saying, I'm waiting, I'm feeling bad. I think I've done a mistake. I'm waiting for the answer and it makes me sad. So it's very interesting that you have here two people. And I think we could ask some others, Samrat Patro, Kanai, some others who have the same story with Xavier, but I don't think we should now, analyze the character of Xavier in this
Yes,
session,
it's
but
very much
the
true.
way of handling the situation. This is very interesting.
We should not go further with this topic.
No, but it's a very good example for some people facing the same problem, but everybody's handling it in a different way. This is very interesting for me.
I just would like to say something on what Milan said. Milan, you're right. And I think we already said it last time. It doesn't say anything about yourself when somebody is not responding and answering you. It just tells a lot about the other person. So there is a quote in German that says, what Paul is saying about Peter doesn't say anything about Peter, but tells something about Paul. So so I think it was an extremely good example, becoming aware of that it doesn't always say something about yourself. It says a lot about the person who is behaving like that. So as Milan said, Asad, it's not your problem that he's not answering, but Father Xavier shows that he obviously has a certain kind of reaction that probably is his problem, that when he is angry with somebody, he just doesn't talk anymore. This was a very good example. Yeah. Samrat, you wanted to say something, huh?
No, but I think we can now. We saw, that there are different ways of handling one kind of situation. Maybe we continue with some other homeworks and some other situations. Then
yes, it's true.
Then we can. There are so different, so many examples we have not thought about. So maybe this is better because it's very specific now. And I also don't want that we judge about Father Xavier's character now, because he did so much good for everyone here in this group and also for us. So we want to appreciate his good deeds.
But it's important, Claudia. I think I think we're not judging. I think we try to understand the person. That's
yes. Okay.
So we just try to understand why a person is behaving like that. And I think last advice to Asad is, it doesn't say anything about you. Next thing, choose probably the right moment. Sometimes, people.
May I say something?
Yeah.
It's just the way Father just go out of his anger, means he just don't want to be angered to the person who has done the mistake. So he just refused to talk with that person, and nothing like that. It's just a kind of weakness, but he's always a good person, an excellent person.
Yes, Samrat, exactly. That's what I also wanted to say. And it's, it's not fair because he's not with us. So maybe he has some other explanations. I can invite him one time to our session so we can talk with him about it. This is a good idea, I think.
I wanted to Asad, probably sometimes it's quite helpful you just ask the person. So I did write you a message, you know, I'm probably aware of that you have a lot to do. I was waiting for some days. I now choose you the right moment. I just wanted to ask you for just better understanding. How can I interpret, you know, that I didn't get an answer? Just doing a conversation with him, talk to him, really helps sometimes. I mean, sometimes a lot.
Sabine, I think, wants to say something.
And also Ella wants to say something.
And Ella, okay, please do so. Sabine.
I think on exactly the point that Sigrid has just said, I have also in my very close set of people, some very difficult relationships. And to try to sort out those relationships where I felt a little bit like Azad, they're ignoring me, they don't like me anymore. We even tried coaching, a little bit like having a third person to try to help bring two other people together, me and the people that I had a problem with. But just because I wanted to sort out the problem didn't mean that they did. They weren't ready to sort out the problem. And I was very sad because I was full of a good intention. I wanted us to sort out our problem, but they were not ready. So even though I tried to get a third person to help, and even though I thought I was being a very good person and doing it all the right way, it still didn't work because emotionally they weren't ready yet to try to open up to me. So sometimes all I want to say is, long answer, it takes time. We can't force somebody else into a position until they're ready to be in it. But we shouldn't take the burden and we shouldn't feel that we're failing. We just need to give everybody the time it takes for them to make their own decision. And sometimes doing nothing, when I stopped trying, those people wanted me because then they were uncomfortable. They wondered where I'd gone. So all the time I was chasing, trying to make a good relationship, they blocked me. And when I accepted it and sat back and said, I will wait for whenever they come to me, they did, and the situation improved. So sometimes, really, unfortunately, time and patience are also very important.
Very good advice, Sabine. Thank you very much for your example.
Thank you, Sabine, for sharing this one. And I and I want to say, like, who is that kind of person who does not like you and who did not like you? I think I would like to meet that person. You have such a charming personality.
Michael, that's a very nice thing to say, but of course, you know, everybody has dynamics with people, and what works for some doesn't work for others. And I'm definitely not always an easy person. So, you know, we all have those examples in our lives, all of us.
Yes, yes, you're right.
Bina, you're so right. You know, based on the example of my mother yesterday, already in the evening, I asked my mother the question why I have always to, you know, call you and ask if there is a problem, you know, and I realized in this conversation that, as you said, Sabine, people are quite often caught in their kind of behaviors. They have a certain kind of behavior, they have a certain kind of reaction, and it's quite difficult that they change their behavior. But the most important is, it doesn't say anything about myself. I just realized that she's struggling with a certain kind of behavior she shows when she's confronted with a problem. Absolutely right. Yeah.
I think Ella would say something. Wait, let's Ella speak first.
You're right, Michael. Ella.
Hello, everybody. Thank you, Azad, for telling you, all of us, your story. And in my experience, I only can tell you that sometimes it really helps to accept it, that is the way it is, that he doesn't answer, as lots of the other young people of you know. And sometimes humor helps. If you just, you know, try to contact in a different way and use a little humor, then this breaks the ice sometimes. And as soon as you accept his way he treats you, then you can use the humor to get back to conversation, because I think that's very important for you, that he replies to you again. And maybe this helps.
Also good advice. I think Malis, we made good experiences with the humor of Father Xavier, haven't we? Going to Sundarbans. Yeah. Yes, it's a good idea also.
Mhm.
Claudia auntie. Claudia auntie.
Yes, please.
Say only Claudia.
Oh, sorry. Now I have to leave.
You tell everyone. Okay, Sanat. So thank you for joining us.
No, because our before who was the warden in charge, superior brother he was good. Now new brother came. So they are very strict at rules and regulations. If you don't go down to dining hall, you will not get a dinner. And you cannot bring up your dinner to your room also, dormitory. You have to sit there and you have to eat with them. Because you have to do prayer. He's very strict about all these things.
I see. Okay, thank you for telling us. Yes, I know that's why so many can't join. Also, all the girls who are at the nurse college in Bangalore and Ramchan, because they have the same rules like you. They have like going for dinner, meditation, prayer, studying. Okay.
Our before brother was good brother. He was good, but now he's very strict. You have to follow the rule. If you don't follow, you have to go to our father, superior. If you go to one of this superior, then you want to die or you want to kill yourself. Don't want to follow.
Okay, so we hope that you will get another warden very soon, a nicer one.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, thank you for having with
We are going to
with
miss
us.
you, Sonat. Bye bye.
Bye.
So shall we move to another?
Yes.
Yes, sir?
That's the last thing I would like to add. The thing I have discussed about father is not about disrespecting father or trying to bring the character of father. So I would like to tell sorry to those who thinks that I am trying to disrespect father.
No, it
Actually,
was
I
not
am
my
having this
point,
kind of-
Asad. No, not at all, because now it was a good example, but we just said that, so many have different attitudes toward him. So I didn't want to immerse in this case, because otherwise then we start to speak for 2 hours about him. And I think this is not fair for somebody who is not with us and who did so many good things. But it's not because of you. I never thought that you disrespect him.
I think, as Claudia said, one day we can invite him in this session, and then
yes, we can do. This is a good idea. I think I will ask him if he wants to join, and then can we talk about communication and about the reason for answering or not answering. We have to tell him something else we are going to talk about, because otherwise he would not come.
I think it's a great example.
Claudia, I'm very afraid of speaking in front of him. I don't know, but I'm very afraid of speaking in front of him.
You're not in front, you will be in front of the camera.
Whatever. He will be in front of.
Samrat, let's see if he's accepting our invitation before we are going to be afraid.
I think it was a good example, Moidul.
He will be the first person who will sit for us for 2 to 3 hours to see our face. Otherwise, he don't talk us more than a minute.
He was in our general assembly. He was there in October.
Devkon, you feel that you are so handsome that father will be seeing your face for 3 hours? Oh, goodness.
Yeah, no, he doesn't speak us more than 1 to 2 minutes. He will be in a session for 2 hours. It means amazing.
He was there while having ZUKI session.
He was in our general assembly, I think, for 1.5 hours.
Yes.
So we will tell him there will be the most important sponsors in the session. We are going to invite the most important sponsors, and you are also coming then as a surprise. Okay.
Devkumar is the sponsor. You tell the name Devkumar. He is the sponsor.
You tell that Devkumar is there in the meeting.
Okay.
Now, but other examples you would like to share in that group,
Who was doing the homework? Who? Chagat. Chagat is telling, and you were writing in the chat your example that you are. Yes. Maybe you can tell about it, because now the connection is better. Please.
Yeah.
So what is stressing you?
1 month before, the Chief Minister of West Bengal, she announced that that's date. So after a few days, we are very excited about listening to the news. So after a few days, the court, High Court of Kolkata, they ordered that no, you cannot open the school and colleges because you don't have any scientific reason to open the school and college. So I was very stressed about the High Court of the High Court. About the judge of because we have waited so much, the result is negative. That's why.
So they are not opening up the colleges. You can't go there for offline classes. You have to stay at home doing online classes still.
Yeah, I'm talking.
It is not for everyone.
But you want to know how you can turn around this thought.
Only in this state. That's in the turnaround thought. What I thought is that maybe I have thought only about myself. I have not thought about those person who were being killed by coronavirus. I have not thought about the person who were in the hospital, and I have the High Court, they had the reason, means because the chief minister didn't have this scientific reason to open the college. That's why they did not allowed it.
So you want to tell this as an example how you turned the thought around, Jagat, if we speak now about the terms of the work.
Yeah.
So first you were stressed about not being able and allowed to go to college, and then you turned it around by thinking about the coronavirus and how it is affecting somebody else. Okay, Sigrid, you understood? So
you were stressed because you wanted to go to university, but at the end you just go just offline.
I was stressed about the yes. I was stressed about the High Court judge because I not stressed. I just wanted to kill the High Court judge because he said you cannot open the college.
Okay. And so, Jagat, your turnaround. What was your turnaround? Because you already offered a turnaround. Based on your homework, you already did a turnaround.
I thought about yes. I thought about others people, means who were there in the hospital, who were killed in the coronavirus time. So that fear, I have thought about that fear, that which was there during the corona time. So now the omnivirus has came. So because of the omnivirus, the High Court judge has said that you cannot open it.
So the turnaround is, instead of being stressed that you can't attend university, you told yourself probably it's much more secure attending university offline instead of going to the university. So that's your turnaround that created much less stress. Huh? Did I understand you right?
Yes. Yeah.
But it's a good turnaround.
But the turnaround is also to think about the other people. It's
other
not
people,
just,
not only myself.
First he was a little bit egoistic, thinking just about himself and that he would long and love to go to university. And then he was thinking, I think it's a problem so many are facing. We also are in the lockdown and sitting at home, and we are not very happy about it. But thinking about all the people in the hospitals, it makes it easier. Jagat, if I understood you right, this was your turnaround, thinking of everybody affected. Yes.
I think it's a perfect turnaround. And I tell you an example of Viktor Frankl. You remember, it's the one that created the logotherapy. It's a therapy based on the meaning of life. And he said, sense is not always what's the best for me or for myself. Sense is always thinking about others. So a sense is thinking about myself and about others too. And we experience, as I said, Claudia, in Austria, a lot of people that just behave in a very egoistic way. They just think about themselves, but you also have to think about others. And I think it's a very good example what you showed in this session, that what is much less stressful to you, not just thinking about yourself, but thinking about others too. And based on that thought, it creates much less stress. Huh? Is it true, Jagat? It helped you.
Is the connection bad again?
Yeah, kein Verbindung.
Okay.
I just have one question to Sabine. When you want to tell der Sinn auf Deutsch, do you say sense or do you say meaning?
The meaning.
Yes, that's
Meaning.
because
Yeah.
Sigrid now just used a different word. You
Okay.
wanted to say that the meaning gives, the meaning to something is given by thinking about the others. Is this right?
Yes, Sinnhaftigkeit is it's easier for us to understand if you use meaning rather than the sense of something. Yeah.
Okay, so I say it again. So the meaning is
Yes.
not just, that you think about yourself and you just show up in a very egoistic way. Viktor Frankl says the meaning is doing the best for yourself, but doing also the best for others. This is the meaning. But if you just think about others is not the best way, and just thinking about yourself is not the best way either. So having both thoughts is important. And I think, Jagat, you showed a perfect example that, just thinking about yourself is creating stress and is frustrated and you become angry, but becoming aware of that the sense is the meaning is also thinking about others helps in a lot of situations. Other examples.
Who else made the homework and can tell us about a stressful thought? Milon, did you show?
Yeah.
Yes, please.
Yeah, this might be kind of a different thing because there were many things for me to do the homework, but those things were always coming in a negative only. Whatever the 5 questions, everything, those were coming in a negative. But some from yesterday I was facing something, so those regarding to that question or matter, then I found myself in a good way. So it is like around because I am very disappointed and not happy with a film production called Maitri movies because because of their lack of promotion of a film, okay, Puspa, and every boys or our brothers know that I am always putting all the details in my WhatsApp status or any platform. So it has been dealing so many times. So the responsibility of the production house of Maitri movie is so poor. They are not even doing the promotion in a good way also, because it will release in a 10 days or 10 days later. So
just a moment, which kind of movies do you put there, or which kind of films? You are making videos or?
No, like information regarding the film.
The filming? Regarding
no, not filming. It's about a film coming out, upcoming film in India.
Okay. About a film coming out in India.
Yeah, and it is kind of a big film for that actor and for the fans of that particular actor. So there have been so much of lack of promotion and responsibility from that production house. They are not releasing anything, and there's been so many delay. So when I gone through the 5 point, so like, can it be true? So yeah, it is obviously, we all can see that like today it has been given some information and the release date is 17. So I feel that yeah, it is true that they are not doing a good promotion or lack of responsibility from the production house. And next one is that, can you absolutely know that it is true? It is kind of a I realize that, see, they have put in they have given the money, so in a way they always want to gain something, or they want to do all the way of their production house, or so that they can gain the money from what they have invested. So somewhere after some time I thought that yeah, okay, they might be in trouble, or maybe because it was somewhere in a pandemic situation, so they were not having the time. So now they are only focusing on the production work, so that they can release the film on a exact time. So they are not for that only, they are not maybe doing so much promotion in a high frame or high stage maybe. So that's why, so in that way I thought that it kind of will go in a 50-50 way for me. And the third point is, how do you react when what happened? And this is actually killing me, because whatever I love or whatever I think it is very important to me, or because I am invested in this thing, so if it's come with a disappointment, then I feel that I am not in control in myself, because I cannot control myself, because each and throughout the day I will think of that particular thing only if that goes wrong. So, and for that I cannot make myself in a complete regular routine. I cannot put myself in a complete routine which regularly I do. So which I hate for myself also, because one day if you don't do which you are doing in a regular days, it is kind of hamper my day also. My mind thought also changed, so I don't want to go in a deep. So yeah, but when I believe that it is completely they're doing a wrong thing, so I can kind of go don't stay in my mind only. So now that I, after realizing that no, it can be like 50-50%, so then now I am little bit calm about it, that okay, it can be now. So you can be relaxed about that fact that I mean the production house is also trying their best to work it out in a good in a way, in a right time also.
But Milan, I just want to, because I want to summarize. I don't know if I understood everything right. You invested in a film. That's why you are angry that the promotion is not, you bought some.
No.
Or why are you angry because a film is not promoted right? I don't understand. What is your connection with that?
This is a problem. I like, how do I say?
He is a great fan of that.
He's just
that actor.
disappointed. Yes, he's disappointed.
Yeah, he's a great fan of that actor, so
he's a fan. He didn't give some money for small shares or something. Because but so many of you are buying shares, Aktien, das heißt Shares, oder?
It's like he have been suppose tomorrow is the exam and I have prepared myself very well, and then next day I come to know that the exam is cancelled. So I feel very depressed and very sad. Same kind of story he's having.
Actually, he has been waiting for that movie for a long time, and he had great expectations from that movie.
Okay. I've never been so emotionally involved in a movie that I can feel with this example, really. But obviously, it's a big topic for you. Sigrid, what do you?
You were extremely stressed because the company promoting that film based on your opinion wasn't doing it in the right and certain and best way.
They are not doing till now. They are not promoting also, because on 17 it will release. So nothing has been posted or like put in on the banner. So yeah.
And you said something. What was actually? You said once something was killing you. You mentioned the word killing. What is actually killing you?
Yeah, the thing is that like the three, like point number 3, that how do you react when what's happened? How do I react when it is going a wrong way? So that's the thing, because I cannot control myself. I always indulge into that thought that it is not going in a right way, and I cannot control, or like I don't stay in my mind, or I always think negative all the time, because I can see the negative is happening around me and around the thought I have built in my mind. So that's why I cannot put myself into, I don't want to put myself into those situations, because I damage my whole day for that reason.
And Milan, you said at the end something was calming you. What was the thought which was calming you? Tell me that thought, different to the previous one.
Yeah. So when I went through the point about, can you absolutely know what that is true? So when I went through the point, then I realize, or just summarize the fact, then why they are doing this way, or maybe why they are doing so much late or not doing the promotion in a good way. So then I as a matter, then I solve the element how they are not doing. So then I found myself that if this is the reason they are not able to do the promotion in a good way. So that for that thought of like, that will be a 50-50. They are doing their best also, and they cannot do their best because of some reason. So now that thought came into my mind, then I can now I'm keeping myself calm.
Okay, so this is so different. At the beginning, you thought, I'm so angry because I'm convinced they're doing the promotion in the wrong way. And at the end, going through the different questions, you much more understand probably the company, why they behave as they behave. And the thought was changing into the direction that is calming you. Now I can be convinced that they behave in the right way. You never know, you never can look behind the curtain, why a person or a company is behaving like a company is behaving. But the turnaround was, and I think it's quite true, is just now I'm just convinced, or I'm just I rely on that company that they know what is the right behavior. What is the right behavior in promoting the film? Sure, it would be much more better for myself to see the film, I don't know, 2-3 months before, but I never know if they really react in the wrong way. Going through the questions, you now say to yourself, probably, and I'm convinced that they behave in the right way and they will promote and show the film at the right time. And this
No,
is
it's not like that. No, it's not like that. See, I'm not, till now, I'm not convinced about, I'm not telling that I am convinced that, okay, they are doing in the right way. It is not the right way, because promotion has to be done from long back.
Okay.
So because I have been seeing the promotion or maybe many film, the promotion is not done like this only. So I know this is completely wrong. They are doing in a wrong way also, but yeah, seeing the time and the pressure they are having, because they were facing in a lockdown also. So they have given a time to be released on the proper time. So that's why they are hurrying up everything. So for that, they are not able to promote that film. But I believe that there are many people also, they believe that it is not a good kind of a promotion they has to be done for that particular film. And it is a kind of huge money invested, around 350 crore. The film has been invested 350 crore. So I think that, yeah, it has to be done with a good promotion.
So Mamil, my question is, did the work based on the stressful thought what you have had, did help you, that you feel now different? But this is important.
Yeah.
Because at the end, as I said before, you can just decide for yourself which turnaround is the right one. Because you feel, you explore different turnarounds and you feel which one is the much more right one to the previous one. And obviously you made a turnaround for yourself that helped you and that makes you feel different now than you felt before. Huh? So that the work helped you in this kind of stressful situation.
Yeah, because see, in this platform or in this field, I don't indulge myself alone, because if I go, I will watch the film and I will come out. That's not a problem. But I always try to tell every people in this group also about the film. So somewhere I myself get disappointed with myself that I'm also giving them the wrong information. They are not also having the good information. So that's why I'm also more angry with the production house.
Okay. Okay, thanks, Milan.
It was an example. Kenna, you want to say something? You raised your hand. Is this right?
Yes. I wanted to tell about, means he was his explanation was like, if supposedly if a product is to be introduced in a market, they need to advertise it very, means in a, what I can say, in a good way, and frequently they have to advertise it so that when people get crazy about the product. That means he wanted to say that if the promotion
yes, we understood,
is not going,
we understood the example already. It was in the beginning. I didn't know why he was so emotionally involved with a film that's coming up. I would never get angry.
And more about he is a big fan of the director.
Yes, obviously.
And he waited for the film.
Obviously,
so
yes.
That's the thing.
But maybe we can have one more example, more based to daily life, Sigrid. What would you say, the college life or your family life?
Yeah, I'm extremely prepared. I don't know when we have to finish, because now we have to
I want to say,
but one more example would be
Samrat,
yes.
I would be
few
curious.
Few days before we were having that registration form submission date. So it was not the first time, but the second time they have done the mistake. I was very angry with the person who is handling the administration. So I called him, and first time when I called him, he said in angry and rude way, and then second time also he responded me in that way only. So I was very, as I am a short tempered person, so I got angry and thought, is their irresponsibility that the correct thing they made it incorrect, and then again we have to do the correction. So I was kind of annoyed, and then I thought that why I will do these things. It is their mistake and they have to solve it. So then for few times after I sit and thought silently that am I sure that I need to be angry on him? So he was telling in anger that I'm not the only one to handle this, because he is having many things to handle. So maybe it was his frustrations and workloads that he might be angry on me. So I thought that it's true that I am angry. It's okay to be angry on him because of his angry way of responding me. But then I thought it's more it's more important to be true. What's important means it's important to be true. What is necessity? So the necessity was that I have to submit the uh, registration form, because if I don't, then maybe I will not be registered in the Calcutta University. So I thought, and then I thought, what would happen if I don't do these things? So the negative thing was that first I would have got a scold from the HOD, botany HOD. So I have thought that one, and then second was that what will happen if I don't register my name? Obviously I will spoil 1 year. So it's better to choose uh, to accept that he's angry because of his workload. And so I managed to do the thing again. I have done the correction, and I found from on the very next day I submitted the things. So the conclusion was the next day one of the boy hasn't done the thing, and on the WhatsApp chat the HOD ma'am scolded on that person and said that, and in Bengal he said things. So sometimes it's kind of rough things means. So that was the thing.
But you could change the situation, because first
Yes.
you really got angry because there were so many problems doing the admission, and then
Yes,
you
because
understood
it's
the person who was not quick enough. Or is this right?
it was their responsibility, uh, but then also we have to understand the workload of that person only, who is handling many students projects or things or profiles. So
I think it's a very good example, Sigrid, isn't it? Because to understand the other person is
Yeah, I'm
always
just
a good way.
interested. Tell me, what kind of turnaround did you do at the end? Which kind of turnaround did help you? How did you
the
change
turnaround
the
was that
previous sentence?
it is more important to accept what is absolutely necessary for us. Means for me, the thing was that the necessity was that I have to submit the registration form. Whatever the mistake is, maybe his mistake or my mistake, but the thing is that the necessity thing, you have to do this. Means you have to do the thing which is important to you. So that thought was the turnover for me.
Great, Samrat. I mean, I thought the same as Claudia said. I think understanding of the person at the end helped you. Because the understanding was obviously he has a big workload, he has a lot to do, and we are, sometimes we blame people and we think we know exactly how they should behave. And by understanding or trying to understand a person much better helps at the end. Huh? So actually your understanding of the person helped you at the end. Huh? Your understanding the person much better. Okay.
As I have just accepted the person. Maybe he is angry or in nature, whatever it is. But the important thing is that I have to submit the form. So it doesn't matter what kind of person he is. The important thing is what is important to you.
Samrat, you are great.
I think everybody knows examples like this, being at the airport and somebody is slow in the board, whoever, or being at the supermarket and you have to stand in line and everything is going so slow. Yes, and you start then to understand the cashier and the workload, then you get patient again.
And I think the example is so great because I've often have coaching sessions, people are coming and they say a person or a situation has to be different. A person has to behave in a different way. And I always tell these people, these people want change. So the only one that can change is, you can change. So when a situation is stressing you, a person is stressing you, we very often tend, or we want that the person is changing. But the only one that can change is you as a person. And I think you raised a very important example. As you said, I can't change that person, but I can change myself. And Viktor Frankl always says, life is asking you questions with situations that are difficult, with people that are difficult, and it depends on yourself that you give the right answer to this kind of situation. And I think you raised a quite a good example. Becoming aware of that the only person that can change is you, huh?
Thank you so much.
Thanks. I think it was a good example. Yeah. Claudia, we have.
What would you say, Sigrid? Should we take one more example and then going to the feedback round, or what would you suggest, or the others?
I would love to take.
Yes, we can. I also think
more
that.
Example. Okay.
Or two more. Who else wants to tell about his case or his homework, the homework he has done? Who was there in the last session? Anuradha, you were with us. Is your microphone now working? Maybe we can hear you. Have you thought of an again, I think it's the problem.
You can open your microphone and then you can talk with the mobile's microphone.
Do you think she should switch it off, external microphone, and like hold the mobile and talk without this microphone?
Maybe that can work once try.
Yes. Anuradha, just try if you can say something.
I have opened the microphone.
Now it's better. Now it's good quality. So have you thought of any a situation that was like disturbing you and now you have found the turnaround?
I have actually thought of it, but it's kind of similar examples that have been already discussed.
Okay.
And actually I have misunderstood the thing. I thought that maybe Sigrid was talking about the importance of positive thought, but it's actually not. She want to let us realize that we should think in a right way, not only in a positive way.
That's right.
Thanks, Anuradha. Very important. I think you got it. It's a big difference thinking in a positive way or thinking in the right way. Yeah. Okay.
Okay, who else? Biswachit, you were also with us last time. Did you think about any situation that makes you maybe angry or is affecting you in a negative way? And do you try it now to turn it a little bit?
Right now, I haven't any situation like that.
No?
No. Actually, I have those situations in my school or college.
Situations at college that are fine, or what? What do you want to say?
Actually, it happens our group session. Actually, when we used to did our group session, that time we had a little angry with our friends. It's about the subject name is economics. So we have a discuss about that, and we one time we disagree one point. So by that we have an argument on that. So that time it's a very bad situation actually. then actually it happens in many years ago, and now I realize that after Sigrid telling the formula or trick.
What did
Now
you
I thought
realize? What did you realize?
I thought that now I think I realize that everyone have their own knowledge, and they can handle the situation their own way, and that means I want to say that he was a good on his based on his knowledge, so we couldn't judge him or tell him any bad things, and so that's why I turned on myself that it can be possible that he know the more things better than me, and it can be possible I also know the more knowledge about more than him. So the last thing I thought that it can be possible that he have a more knowledge more than me.
Quite an interesting stuff, because did I understand it right that you faced a situation where you thought that a person should behave different in a certain situation, and after the turnaround you realized that everybody has his own knowledge and that you can really trust that a person is handling a situation in the right way.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So the work helped you in this kind of stressful situation, or this kind of stressful thought?
Yes. Now it's a help for me.
Okay.
Now. Yes.
But
sometimes also negative thought also help you sometimes.
But Sigrid, can you also, excuse me, please, Biswajit.
Sometimes you expected more than, but you didn't. Then it can by that you can depress also. If you have a negative thought also, that it could help you also for get right from the depression also. Like if you expect more, but it doesn't. So by that you can get depressed also. If you don't expect more.
So you should not expect too much of other people. Do you want to say that?
Yes. Yes.
I think it's a kind of, I don't know if in this example, but usually expectations can always be an obstacle, because you are very likely to be disappointed if you expect something of somebody. It's like with why does somebody not answer my message? You're expecting him to answer. What do you say, Sigrid?
I think it's a good example. As you said, I think always have expectations and always knowing better how a person should behave for sure creates stress. And I think that, it's not on us that we can judge another person how he or she should behave. It's not my business. Byron Katie says, don't judge other people because they don't behave like you want them to behave. It's actually based on their decision, and so it's quite important not to expect too much from other people. But the most important is, as Viktor Frankl says, always expect a lot of yourself. This is important, I think it's true, just expect from yourself. You always can expect a lot, but expectation towards others, I think you should really minimize, because as Claudia said, this really creates stress. And I think you are not obliged to do it. It's not your job to argue or to judge another person. And but again, as I said already twice, always expect a lot of yourself, really. That's important. And this could be probably a nice turnaround. I decided not to expect a lot from others, but to expect a lot from myself. Could be a nice turnaround, eh?
Okay.
Thanks.
Thank you. Soidul, did you also find an example? Did you do your homework?
Hello.
Hi. Good to see you again in our session after this long break of some months. You have not been with us. We are very glad to see you.
I'm happy to be back with. Well, we are having now at present our company, the company which I am working is under a little bit pressure, or they are in very much stress also. Like it's not the employee, the company manager, and everyone is stressed too, because the company inventory, there is no so much inventory so that the employee can work, and it's like there's too many employee and the work is very less, so the company is a little bit worried. So what the manager will do now. So we
Just
thought
one
that
question, Soidul. What is the company exact? What is the business of the company?
is health insurance.
Health insurance. So you have to sell health insurance on the phone. Is it this kind of call center? Or
Well, I'm on the department where I have to pay the money when the person claims, or the patient or the provider claims so I'm the accountant department.
Okay.
Okay, so now the inventory is not so much. So we thought that this probably will come at the end of the 2022, because of the COVID situation, we have health, but the issue is already here. So now today we had a 1 hour meeting with the manager that to work smartly and work efficiently, so that the company cannot fire you with giving you any silly example that you have a behavior issue, or you're not attending, you're doing some error in your work. So company should not find any chance to fire you, so you should work properly. So our manager, the senior manager, told us everyone. It's like directly he told everyone directly. So because their situation has came now, so all the employer, we all are little worried. So how to handle this situation, because in this COVID situation and all the new variant of virus, so it's very difficult to company or to find the virus. So find a new job is very difficult. So at the same time, positivity I can get that I have to work hard. I have to work hard so that I will be the best among some other. I will be the best, perform my best, so that company doesn't fire me, or companies should take me. It's like, why a company should take me? It's out of 100 people, or out of 10 people, why the company will take me? So in that case, I'm working myself so that I should not make any error, because in our company, if I pay, it's a US based company. So if I pay a money, it doesn't go in Indian rupees. So I always pay in a dollar. So it's the value of the money is very high. So the company take us to each and every dollar should be countable, that what you are paying, it should not be against the company, or it's like. So I am working on it, so that maybe at the end of the December we will get the result of what will happen.
So you are under high pressure now, that you can't do any mistakes, because maybe this has the consequence that you get fired, because they have to reduce the employees.
Yeah. At the same time, I take point of the secret. Last time, she mentioned that you should have a confidence within yourself and self belief. So I must boost myself to be in the company. We can hope for the best. I wish I can achieve it.
So Secret will give you, I think, a very important mindset for this situation.
But this is a great example, because what really is changing your stressful situation is your attitude towards yourself. So if you think, oh God, that the company has a much, that the turnover is much less than 1 year before, and I'm afraid that probably they could fire me. This is the stressful previous thought. And now you think, I think I have a lot of knowledge. I try to do my best as I always did. I think the company can be, the company can be quite happy that they have me as a person. And I have this confidence that I can still prove, my good knowledge, and I can prove that I can do really the best for the company, and I have this confidence that I can stay.
Yes, that's the energy. Thank you, Sigrid.
Yes, great. I think, it's so, if you have confidence or not, it makes a big difference. Sure, at the end, we never know, how they will behave in 1-2 years, but being confident, about myself in this stressful situation helps a lot. Great example.
Yeah.
Thanks a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Thanks. Keep your confidence, really. Keep it.
So I must
Very
thank
important.
you for all your motivation. I wish I will apply myself and boost myself to be in the company. I must work hard.
Mm-hmm. And you like to work in this company? Do you like to work?
Yeah, the company gives itself an opportunity for the long-term employee. You can do further study within the company itself.
Okay.
So there is without expense, the company supports you for the further studies. For any degree like MBA or any high degree, if you do company.
Mm-hmm. I see.
Hello?
Okay.
So the opportunity if you are in a company for the long term.
Mm-hmm. I see. But we are very touched that everybody of you is also so much affected by the COVID crisis. Also in our place, but in your age, not being able to go to college or having this pressure of maybe because the turnover is not, it's less now because of the pandemic, very difficult situations. So I think
turnover was very low.
And it's not easy to get a job. We heard several times here already for the last month. So many told us, yeah.
But as you said, so worrying about it all the time, always having in my head, the worries and being anxious that probably could fire me doesn't help at all. But, doing the best as I always did before, and, being confident, this helps. But because if you are stressed and anxious, then you make mistakes. But if you really, as you always do, just showing the best and doing the best, that you can do, that helps in that situation. Confidence is quite important. And there are a lot of studies that show that being anxious is creating a lot of mistakes, So stay confident, really. And show your best as you always did.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so who else is going to give you us an example? Rinku, maybe. Rinku, did you think about an example of your situations, that one situation that made you angry or upset and you could turn it around?
No, that situation never happened that I am angry with someone. But sometimes before I used to feel very afraid of sharing something with you people, that if I say something that you might be misunderstanding me, you might be think wrong negative thought. But then I thought that I should confess it with you and I should share with you, whether it might be result in a bad way or a wrong way. But there would be a solution that there would be no misunderstand like that if I confess myself, if I done something mistakes. So it is a turnaround for me, because before I used to think that there might be a misunderstanding, but when I confess it, there is no such kind of problem is there. So this is a turnaround for me.
Yes, so our relationship improved.
Oh.
So now that you are talking and telling us what's going on, because we were sometimes upset because we didn't get any news from you and you just disappeared. So now it's much better. You see there you see the two-side secret of stress. So here and the ZUKI side had stress because Rinko was not showing up, and Rinko had stress because she didn't dare to talk to us, thinking that maybe we understand it wrong.
No, actually, I was stressed out something else with something else, which is I cannot share with you. That's why sometimes I really myself I lost myself. So there might be some misunderstanding due to that only. So maybe for that only there is a long gap between there is no connecting or there is no update from my side because of some problem. But now it has solved, and now I am always update you, and I will join the class. So
oh, fine.
Actually, sometimes it happens with everybody that there might be some time or some situation and some thing is there that is when that stress that person particularly in a very bad situation. So and he or she cannot share that one with you or with anyone else. So I think for that reason only I was lost myself. I might be not update from my there was no update from my side, but now I think there will be always update from my side and there will be no such kind of thing. But I there was an from my side I request you people that you don't misunderstand me that I am not updating you or I am not respecting you or I am not loving you or not caring you or not messaging you. That is a different that's a different thing. But actually I am not telling you or I am not answering you. That doesn't mean that I don't like you or I'm not interesting about you. I already told you due to some reason I have not I was
Never mind, Rinkuji, we are all very happy to see you.
Yes.
We all very excited.
And we all got best
And
parents
to
in
hear
ZUKI. You can always share. They understand.
Yes.
They are understanding us from 15 years. Why won't they understand your problem?
Yes, we try. You know,
We are with
for
you,
me, that
Rinkuji.
it's two different things actually. You know, I think that there has to be some rules for any kind of relationship also. You know, one thing is the emotional side, where we all, of course, understand everything and we know about problems and we also have our own problems. But like for communicating and getting, like I also wrote today in our WhatsApp group, that, you know, on the one hand, we are taking ZUKI is taking the responsibility for supporting you till you can join into job life, but you also have responsibilities towards us. And this is like joining this session. So I'm really glad that so many joined today, or telling us the news, what's going on. It's also very important, but because we have hundreds of children we are supporting and we have to talk to the sponsors, so we have to know what's going on. So I think there's one like emotional, very empathisch, was heißt das? Understanding side. And on the other hand, there have to be really rules for how to get along with each other, so that it's that it's possible that, you know, you have the support. And did I understand it right? So on one hand, it's true that we always try to understand everything. But if, for instance, somebody is supported by us, it's like this writing the letters. This is a very good example. That, you know, no matter what's going on in your life, if you have a sponsor, you should write a letter. And so there are some really, like, there's a policy about how to treat each other. This is one on the one hand, and on the other hand, there's this emotional, very understanding side. So, and I think it's also good to remember there has to be a policy for everything, because otherwise you can't handle it. You can't you can't work for an organization, or we are responsible for so many things. Marlies, me, Sabine, everybody who is handling also the financial side. So that's what I wanted to say. because sometimes, you know, you tend, as we always say, we are a family. We feel like that also for you, that like when you are the mother of your children, you try to understand them, you are loving them, of course, but on the other hand, there has to be some rules and regulation and some discipline. So these are also these two sides are struggling with each other. But I know you understood, Rinko. We had our talks and we had our matches and we had everything. So everything's fine now.
And you know, because we are talking now about communications in general, what I really would like to add is what I always tell my students when I have communication trainings. I tell them, for sure communication can go in a wrong direction. But the second thing is important, not communicating is for sure going in the wrong direction.
This is 100% sure, yes.
Yeah, because you said, sometimes I don't dare to say something because I'm worried of being, you know, misunderstood. And I just be aware of, as I said, communication can go in the wrong direction, but not communicating is for sure going in the wrong direction. So the answer is always communicating. Also knowing that sometimes, you know, I can be misunderstood, but, you know, not communicating is not the answer. And I know that sometimes it's not easy, but just remember, it's so important to always communicate. And I just know, because I'm a coach for a lot of different companies, and I'm facing, mostly of the time, I'm facing the problem. The companies have problems because they don't speak to each other. This is most of the problems. That's what I would like to tell you. Just communication is always an answer. Not communicating is never an answer.
Very good advice.
Thanks.
Rinko, just one question. What about now this job at the company or bank where we were talking about 2 months before? Is there the news regarding that?
Yeah, actually, they are offering about the credit card sale offering. The job is about credit card sale in a bank sector. But the thing is, they are giving me the jobbing place. The recruitment place is in very far away from my house. It is 3 hours to go, 3 hours to back. So that's why they told that you have to wait for a while until unless you got according to your location, you have to wait for that. And I'm still waiting, and I'm still messaging them, I'm calling them. They are giving me option, and they are giving me the things, but the things, all the jobs are recruiting me in that same place only. So that's why yes, the thing is, I can join the job, but the thing is, I cannot return home because I am really staying very interior portions of the village. So there was no auto after 7 o'clock. And if my time is about from 9 to 7, and if I come out from 7, then it will take 3 hours to come back. And there was no auto after 7 o'clock in my side, interior portion of my village side, and there it was totally dark. So it was very risky for me, and that's why my mother told that, okay, you find some other job, because some other job, or you better to keep waiting for another offer. So I'm waiting for that, and I'm searching for another.
I see. And in the meantime, you are doing your studying for the master. Is this right?
No, I have not still got admitted, but very soon I will get admitted in it.
Oh, okay. So very difficult I know that it's so the distance, the way to go to your working place very often is really far away. And this is a big problem. Okay.
No, actually, auntie, sometimes my sister also coming from, she's also working in a small bank. She also coming from, her duty is from 9 to 6. Still, she is having many problems. while she returning home, she's facing so many problems. She comes to our house and telling to my dad, mom, and my dad every day my dad goes to for Julpia, that means it's about 20 minutes before my father go to take, sorry, my father, yes, my father goes to take my sister to get home back. Actually, it was very risky for my sisters to come back at night time because after 7 o'clock there was nothing. So my father took a cycle, and my sister also coming from that side. She also take a cycle. By cycle, they both are coming. So, and I cannot ride bicycle, so it was also a problem for me. And the another one is sometimes my sister also tells, I also sometimes offer my sister that is please, if you have something, any vacancy is there in your bank, she tells better you don't have to do any job because it was very risky to come back home.
I see. Okay.
Actually, it is very interior portion of the village and it is totally dark. There was no light in the meantime. There was no light in the road. So that's why she faced so many problems. See, every day she comes and she tells us. That is not a problem, but the things, if I get the job in according to my location, and then I will surely do. And if it's about in Kolkata only, that will also I will do. If the time is between 6:30 or then it is very difficulty for me to do this.
Okay. Okay. Thank you for updating us, Rinko. Yes, we know there are lots of problems going back and forth from the village. Okay, Sigrid, how we going to continue here? Should we
like to have a last question to Surchu? I think you faced really, that life is now quite different, based on what you experienced, last session. Can you just share a little bit, your experience in the group? Because I think it's quite helpful. Just share a little bit your experience, how life changed.
Yeah, means last day only one of my friend's parents came, so he was asking about everyone's what his father does, so everybody was telling. So that time I thought about your class, so I openly told them that my father don't do anything, he usually do means some labor work or whenever he get job. So now it's very easy for me that I don't think means negative thoughts, so I take it very means usually, and I'm doing good. And I told you about the canteen scene. Now I don't dress up also to go to the canteen.
What, you don't dress up?
By the way,
would have been in my college then.
But
Sujo, you are looking handsome.
Sujo, my question is, do you still have the negative thought?
No.
People will, judge you based on your background?
No.
So what do you think now? What do you
now
think
it's now I'm totally free and I don't have that feeling. And to be true, means now I don't have that type of feeling, and usually I'm free, means I can go and don't think of what the others are saying, because I know now that it's just my thinking. People are busy with their own work. No one is
so it was just your thinking and not their thinking.
Yes.
And you said something quite right, because Byron Kate is saying, when you're doing the work, based on every problem you face, at the end you get the big freedom.
Yes.
And you said you feel right now you're much more free towards them, towards yourself, towards the situation at university. I'm really glad. I was so happy receiving your message, really.
Sigrid, I just have to remind you what Jagat did also remind us in the chat, that he's waiting anxiously, or we are all waiting anxiously for you telling us your love story.
Yeah, I shall show you. So shall we first make a feedback round, or shall I show you some picture?
I don't what do you think, Sabine? Should we make the feedback round with the questionnaire this time? Because Louise was
Yeah.
willing to make a questionnaire. Usually we make a Fragebogen, a questionnaire in the end also, so that everybody can write the feedback. Maybe this is quicker for today.
Okay.
Sabine, what do
I
you
think we
see?
probably do need to wrap it up because some are leaving now because they
Yes.
have dinner at college
Good.
and things. So yeah, probably a quick feedback and then move on.
So
Yeah.
I get a written feedback. Did I understand it right?
Either we do the feedback in a written way, that
Good
we
idea.
make a questionnaire today because it's already very late.
Yeah.
I think it's better because
I
a
agree.
feedback round would be another half an hour, I think. So this is, and we just at the end, Sigrid, if you are willing to tell a little bit about your love story, this would be a very nice ending.
I show you a picture. Show you a picture. I prepared a picture for today. That's him. That's my husband. So his name is Peter, and I made that picture this year. We were in Italy, and he loves to drive a boat. And when I told him that I show this picture, you know, I just said, tell all of them greetings, and tell all of them, because I told about some of your experiences, and he really said, tell all of them that they are really, yeah, they should be really proud of themselves. And I got to know him 15 years ago when I was manager in Johnson & Johnson, and he was the biggest client. So when I was manager in Johnson & Johnson, you know, I was responsible for the 2-3 most important clients, and he was one of them. He's a medical doctor. He's an interventional radiologist. So he is actually doing procedures. And he was working at the university clinic in Innsbruck. He's, by the way, also the one who did the procedure on Sorovi when she had problems with her leg. And when I had to travel by plane to Innsbruck, because it's quite far away from Vienna, going to Innsbruck, I thought, oh God, you know, such a long way, and I don't really want to go there. And when I saw him, I decided I think it should be, I should visit him every month. So I was really extremely excited getting to know him, not just because he's such a special person, but he's, you know, I think a really great doctor. And he's, what I really love about him, he's so prepared to help almost everybody. And I think after 1 year, we decided to become a couple, and I'm now with him since almost 15 years. And I can say it was the right decision to go there, and I think life wanted the best for us, giving us the chance to getting to know each other. This is my love story, and oh, I get hearts. And what I can tell you is we had difficult times, because when I was living in Vienna, he was living in Innsbruck, and it's, as I said, it's a lot of hours to go from Vienna to Innsbruck, but then he moved to Salzburg, and now we are 3 hours away from each other. But what really helped was the Corona situation, because in the Corona situation, you know, I don't see my customers. I just work, you know, with them online. And so I decided to move from Vienna to Salzburg, and now we see each other every day, what we didn't experience before. And I think this was the big gift of the Corona situation. And I can't imagine anymore to go away every weekend to Vienna and just see each other for 2 days. the Corona situation did show me that the right place to be is here and staying with him. And I just decided for myself not to change it anymore. This is my love situation. So greetings from him. And I don't know, Claudia, probably, you know, once he will give a certain kind of lecture in this coaching session, you know, and you will get to know him. So thanks to all of you. I think we are at the end of the session. I was
Great. So when you first saw him, means how means at first time you see him and you change your mind, means how this chemical thing works. Means I don't understand. Means if I see a girl and suddenly think of how this work, I don't know. Means don't understand this one.
He was her regular customer. I mean client.
I think it's a good question. I mean, for sure, it was a little bit difficult at the beginning because he was my client and one of the most important clients for Johnson & Johnson. But, you know, after 1 year, I decided to leave Johnson & Johnson. I decided to stay away from Austria and stay in Italy, which is one of the, you know, the countries I really love. But, you know, your question is right. But probably, I mean, when I saw him the first time, there was something inside of me that knew already that he's, I don't know, I can't say it better, that he's the right person. He's just the right person, that the right man for me. And as I said, sure, we had some difficulties and difficult situations. But knowing that the person is the right one, and you know, it's not something you have in your head, it's just something what you experience inside of yourself. It just proves that, you know, it's worth, you know, solving all the difficulties and because, you know, it's the right person. I can't answer it better, you know, it's probably a short answer. When you see a person, and you know that's the right person, you just, you know, it's inside of yourself. You just know it.
Your subconscious mind says, yeah, this is the person.
Yes, that's what I felt.
Understood. Yeah. He is very handsome. Very handsome.
And he's very nice.
Yeah. He is very nice. I want to say something. Most of the people means after 3 to 4 years after their marriage, they feel bored. Means seeing Sigrid's face means we can understand that he's very, means the person, husband is very nice person. Happy means her husband is very nice person.
He is.
He's an extremely
nice person also.
You're right, and I have to tell you, I know him now, as I said, 15 years. It didn't change at all. Sure, relationship becomes different, but you know, I think it's more. I experienced more love than experience when I got to know him. You know, I think it's the difference between falling in love and really loving a person. I think it is like that. But he's a
very lucky. Yeah.
And I think, Jagat, if you say that some people get bored with each other after 4 years, I think it's also the problem of everyone and not of the partner. Because if you can always find something exciting in a person. It's, you know, getting bored. It also tells very much about yourself, I think, more than about the partner.
No,
but I was just.
I have seen many people. Means it is like.
But it's also different in India that you have arranged
so you're very
marriage.
excited.
Jagat?
No, it is not like arranged marriage. Means in love story also this happens. Means it is like if you are very means excited when you get a laptop. It is like that. Means when you are getting married, that time you are excited. Means after 4 years, when you have a kids, everything you are having, then you start boring.
But I'm just making I'm just making a picture of this chat now, and I will send it to your husband, Sigrid, because Milon said he looks like James Bond or Pierce Brosnan. And Romeo and Juliet. I think there's lots of nice things about
Oh, thanks
him
a lot.
also.
I will tell him.
He will love to see that.
But I want to add this again. For sure, he's a handsome person, but he's an extremely, loving and very special person. Really.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Good. Thanks to all of you. I really can say I extremely appreciated working with you. And whenever, Claudia, you need me in one of the future sessions, and
yes,
I'm
of course, and
prepared for much more help. Probably once we can make a session on Viktor Frankl would be quite nice, I think.
Yeah, the meaning of life. This is wonderful.
Based on the logotherapy, I think it's extreme. I have to tell you, when I decided to study logotherapy, it really changed my life. I studied it for 4 years, and I did a lot of nice studies and trainings before, but this was really life-changing. And so I just can offer, whenever possible, I'm really prepared to do one more session or other sessions, and based on your feedback, when it was a little bit of help, I think it was worth doing it. And I really can say again, work with the work. It really, really helps. And whenever you face a problem, whenever you have a stressful situation, sit down, take yourself a couple of minutes. It doesn't take 1 hour, but the more often you do the work, the quicker you answer all the questions. And I can tell you, after even 20 years experiencing or doing the work, it's extremely helpful. So do it in the future. Print probably the 5 questions. Put it in your, I don't know, on your screen, in your workbook, and really work with the work. It's really life-changing. And as I said today, it really changes, and really at the end gives you a big freedom. You experience a different life. And you experience a different life because you challenge all the negative thoughts what you have, and you experience that most of the negative thoughts are not true.
Right. We need a picture again, our session picture. Can everybody put on the camera, please? Malis, are you making it again? Yes. Like last time was wonderful. So I want to see all the faces, please. Rinku and Soidul, can you put on your camera? Yes, thank you. Soidul also. Do you still hear us? Is Soidul there? Otherwise, we make it without him. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, smile. Smile. And another one, 1, 2, 3, smile. Okay. Thank you very much, everyone. That it was wonderful having so many of you. So that's what we are expecting, And yeah, Malis.
Should we just fix the next date, because there are 2 possible days: Saturday the 18th or Sunday the 19th. Is there one date you prefer, or?
We make because so many told us, the ones who were telling me they are not with us because they can't join easily during the week, but some told that the weekend is better, and there is one weekend, it's an exception, where I don't have my radio show. So I would like you, I'm asking now, is the Saturday the better day or Sunday? So we start with the Saturday. Who prefers the Saturday, please raises his hand now in the Zoom session. Who prefers Saturday? Dev Kumar is just 1, 2, Jagat, Milon, 3. And so we made the other example. Who likes the Sunday? Who likes the Sunday better? It would be me. Sunday, is there?
Any day is okay for
Sabine,
me.
Any day is okay for me.
Any days?
We don't have any problem, actually.
You don't have any problem. And which time of the day would be best for you? Should we make same time in the evening? Okay.
So we make it Sunday.
Sunday, yes, would be better. Yes.
So the 19th, okay. Did everyone get the book, The Compound Effect of Darren Hardy? Did you get it? Everyone is? Yes?
Yes, I got it.
Great. So you can start reading. If you did not yet start, you can start now reading. And I would like, as a preparation for our coaching, that you imagine the perfect life you want to live. Just a life of your dreams. Just imagine it in as many details as possible and describe it in a written way in as many details as possible, and the perfect day. So the first thing, how is your perfect life, and which would be one perfect day? And when you go to bed and before you fall asleep, just go into this vision. Once you go into your perfect life, then another day into your perfect day, and you try to find as many details as possibly. And then we will make some kind of positive transformation by the compound effect, by the training. Okay.
Yeah.
So I'm looking forward to our next coaching, and yeah, thank you very much, Sigrid. It was very precious for all of us, I think, and yes. We are looking forward to the next steps.
Yes, I'm sure you are going to join us again, Sigrid. There are many things again to talk about.
Yeah. Whenever you need me, I'm there.
And Sigrid is also, as she told several times already, she is doing the personal coaching also for if you have some kind of issue. And by accident also Raju Kamat was writing me 1 minute before, because yesterday I was asking Sigrid and Peter, her husband, if they are willing to take the sponsorship of Raju Kamat as his sponsors. Not Florian, but other sponsors had to stop the sponsorship. They lost their job due to the pandemic situation, and they said they can't give the support anymore. And then I asked you, because I thought that Raju is going into the medical sector and he would love to have a doctor also and a coach as his mentors and sponsors. And so I was telling him yesterday, and he was really happy. He was just telling me he's like jumping because of happiness. Yes. Thank you so much of also supporting us this way. Thank you, Sigrid.
Thank you.
Thanks a lot.
Okay, so everybody, so you go for you having your dinner, I think. And we
Thank you, Sigrid, for joining us. Sorry, Claudia, for interrupting you. Please carry on.
Thank you, everybody. And
thanks a lot.
Bye-bye. And we stay, Mali's, the ZUKIs here are staying in the Zoom session, because we will talk about the questionnaire, what kind of questions we are going to ask. And we say bye-bye and good evening to you.
Bye, everybody.
Bye-bye.
Thanks a lot.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye, Malish. Bye-bye, Claudia. Bye-bye, Ella.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.